That's going to put, we ended up with our moratorium and eating it too, really. We got the best of both worlds. When employees are not able to be placed within their installation and craft, parties will meet to discuss the options to avoid or minimize involuntary accessing, such as modifying work schedules, and will determine what options will be implemented. If there remains a need to place employees after the exhaustion of any agreed to actions, accessing outside the installation or craft must be to an assignment within 40 miles from the losing installation. That should be 95% of the time within 40 miles. Or 50 if the reassignment within 40 is not feasible. If in unusual situations there are insufficient residual vacancies available for placement within 50 miles, it's not that they can go beyond 50, they cannot. The parties will determine what steps may be taken. And those steps may be creating duty assignments out of multiple installations. Those steps may be bringing back work that Postmaster has been doing in small offices and making them available. It may be bringing back work that some contractors have and making them available. But what it will not be, and I saw Cliff Guffey shake hands with Postmaster General on this, there will be no accessing outside 50 miles. Right, Cliff? That's what the man said. So that is a huge, we were in Cincinnati.
What if there is?
There were 3 clerks.
Then we'll figure it out, right?
We were holding accessing letters that they were going to have to
got something to fight over.
450 miles.
Joe,
you can bet they're both.
you should be very happy because as an arbitration advocate, you're going to be really fucking busy.
Oh, yeah.
I used to be busy, but as a arbitration advocate appointed by the president, I will lose my job.
You've got the exceptions
No, I will.
to how many successful bids you can have. You know that, you know them well. They don't count if they're closer to home or to a high level and all that. We've got a new exception now. The bid don't count unless it has a deferment period. It requires a deferment period or off-site training. So if you're a window clerk, if you've got a 5-year, if you have been a window clerk within the last 5 years, you can bid on all the window jobs you want and they don't count. If you're a mail processing clerk, you can bid on all the mail processing clerk jobs you want and they don't count. So what this essentially, I don't think anybody could burn up 5 unsuccessful bids during the life of this country. It'd be damn hard to do. So Clerkcraft essentially got unlimited bidding in this contract. I'm very proud of that too. We've got this, and your coordinator, John Burgess, was very instrumental in getting this language. Because of the experience that he has on accessing, we asked him to work with us in negotiations, and he did and suggested some language that a regional meeting must take place at least 90 days in advance of accessing, and at that meeting, unlike in the past, they have to now provide us with the level, date of impact, complete list of all withheld residuals identified by position title, level, craft, and location, which they had not been doing in the past. But I think the world of accessing going live, those days are going to be over. Thank God. Next. This is the leucosis clause, Steve. You remember when you told me about the comparative work hour report? It's now mandatory for accessing outside the craft as well as the installation. We talked about this just a few weeks ago. We were able to sneak it in. One of the late chips that came our way. Moving day. In an area that can only be once every 3 months can they have accessing in a postal area. If they were stair-step accessing events 2 and 3 weeks apart, oftentimes it would create inequities in seniority. So this is intended to prevent that problem. Advanced written notice to employees no less than 60 days before reassignment if outside the 50-mile radius. Now before you stand and denounce me and say what the hell are you talking about, you just said there could be no accessing outside 50 miles, right? There can be no accessing outside 50 miles because we have an MOU that says that. That MOU is not part of Article 12. It's a standalone MOU that expires at the end of this contract. This is contract language that does not expire. So in the event we are unable to renegotiate that MOU at the conclusion of this contract, this is our fallback for the next contract. So that's why that language is there. Next slide. Employees access to other APWU crafts, only APWU crafts, within the installation may elect to remain in the gaining craft. Typically how that would work is a clerk was accessed into the maintenance craft as a custodian. Period of time passes, they're promoted perhaps to ET or some other higher level position. And then the old contract required that at the first opportunity they have to return to the craft from which they came. This new language gives them the opportunity to remain, if they choose, in the maintenance craft. It's important for a few people. For reassignments between APWU crafts within an installation, a senior employee may now volunteer to be accessed in lieu of an impacted employee. That's new language, as you recall, was discussed at our convention in Detroit in past, and we were able to negotiate it based upon the action taken by the delegates at the convention. Non-traditional duty assignments, we've talked about that. Need reassign, no need rehashing it. Rob, you want to talk about the seniority and the craft access?